The world is developing so fast nowadays. There's robots just like human beings, and also there's so many other intelligences that, as people say, will take over the human race as soon as possible. Today, everything of a human can be done by a robot. How we talk, how we cook food, how we walk, even the looks. But what makes us different is only one thing, and that is our emotions, our sensitivity. No matter how much programming you do, okay, the robot will never be able to feel emotions just like a human being. Now, this is an astrology channel, and why am I talking about this stuff, right? Because today we are going to talk about the planet which rules our emotions, our sensitivity. That is planet Moon. Now I know, according to science, according to astronomy, Moon is not a planet, it's a satellite. But in astrology, Moon is considered one of the Navgrahas, or one of the planets. We all, for the past few centuries, have been trying to find a new planet for human species to survive in. We are all trying to find a new planet to see whether there is life anywhere else in our solar system. But the answer is always no. I mean, yes, we have found some planets which is like thousands and thousands of light years away from us. But why do we have so many planets around us, but still there is no life on any of them? It's because there is no water on any other planet except our planet Earth. And it is because of this water that we all are here today on Earth. And in astrology, water is also ruled by Moon. Now here's another thing. Imagine that all the females on this planet Earth disappeared. Now, will there be any more children being born to this world? No, right? I mean, the latest science is researching that they are trying to create an artificial womb and trying to, replace the mother's womb with an artificial womb. I mean, we are living in the Kali, so it's explainable. But overall, without a feminine energy, without a mother, none of us are here today. Okay? And mother in astrology is also ruled and governed by the Moon. So see how important planet Moon is in our real day-to-day life. It governs our emotions, which makes us so different. Okay, it governs the water, which is the reason that we are all here today. It governs our mother, without whom we wouldn't even be born. But why is Moon important in astrology? That is our question, right? See, without Moon, your whole birth chart is impossible. Your Moon is like the calendar for many astrologers, okay? From your Moon only we decide the Mahadasha that you are born into. From your Moon only we decide the Antardasha, Mahadasha, Pratyantardasha, that calendar, that cycle. We decide it through the Moon placement. And whenever you ask for an auspicious date, we calculate that using the auspiciousness of the Moon that is transiting. So see how important planet Moon is in astrology as well. Now wherever you go all around the world, there's a whole different story when it comes to the origin of Moon. When you go to Europe, there's a whole different story. When you go to the Asian countries, there's a different story. When you go to the African continent, there's a whole different story about the origin of Moon. But when it comes to Hindu mythology, then there are so many stories about Chandra or Moon, which is so hard to ignore. The first story is that Chandra was born from the mind of Brahma. Okay, and that is why they say in the Hindu mythology that Chandra is the ruler of the manas, or the mind. Now in another story it says that Chandra married 27 wives. Now what does that mean? Does that mean that he actually married 27 wives? No. During the ancient times, the ancient rishis and sages saw that, Moon moved quite fast when compared to the rest of the planets. It looked like he stayed in one place for a very little time. When they observed the sky, they saw that planet Moon stayed in one place only for about roughly 2.5 days. So it looked like he stayed in 27 houses to complete one of his cycles. These 27 houses are the 27 constellations in the sky. Okay, and these 27 constellations are called as his wife. Now here's another thing. It says that Chandra loved only Rohini among the 27 wives. Now Rohini Nakshatra lands between the Taurus zodiac sign, and that is why we say that Moon gets exalted in Taurus. Okay, see how beautiful this is. And him moving from one place to another is nothing else than showing how changeable our nature is. Okay, it shows how emotions fluctuate from time to time. One second we are happy, the next second we are sad, and it also shows that passing of time. Okay, and that is why during the ancient times they used the lunar cycle to match their calendars. They knew that the moon was our biological clock. It also reminds us to never stay stuck in one place, to never stay stagnant in one place. Okay, that is what this story explains to us. That is what this story teaches us. Okay, moon never likes to sit in one place. No. So just like that, if our mind is only in one place, we will be like robots. We won't have any emotions. Just one emotion for the rest of the life. That is very, I would say, messed up. Now here's another thing. Moon reflects the light of the sun, right? But what does that mean spiritually? Astrologically, what does that mean? See, we are souls that have taken life on this earth in this human body. Okay? And as soon as we die from this human body, our soul will exit and go to another body somewhere else, but we will not get control over this body ever again. As soon as this stops, we go away somewhere else. And that I have talked in another video which I will attach right over here. Please go watch that as well. Okay? Now, see, we are souls that come to this body. Okay? And this soul remembers so many stuff from our past births. I'm not saying past birth here, past births. Okay, we have lived multiple lifetimes before this one. And we don't remember it right now, right? But that doesn't mean that none of it existed. It existed. Now, it is in our subconscious mind. Those thoughts, those emotions, the feelings we felt in our past births, they are all deep inside in our subconscious mind. And that is why sometimes little children have so much phobias, have so many traumas, which we don't even know why. Okay, and that is why sometimes small children are scared of dogs. Sometimes very small children are scared of, a specific figure. Okay, so even at a young age, you will see that there are so many traumas, phobias, and how we react emotionally. Okay, how we react to things, how sensitive we are. They all come from our soul. It's not our background. It's not our environment. Our environment is also decided by, the astrological placements. It's also because of our own karma. But some things just come to us naturally, right? Some talents, some imagination, some dreams that comes to us naturally. Okay, that is our past birth, right? And that is what this explains, okay? Moon doesn't create emotions, okay? This body doesn't create any emotions. It doesn't. It reflects what is in our subconscious mind. Okay? This body doesn't remember anything from our past lives. Nothing. Our soul is what remembers everything from our past life. So what happens? Everything from our past, from our subconscious mind gets reflected. Like the energy of the sun gets reflected by the moon. Our mind, our conscious mind reflects our subconscious mind. It is as simple as that. So, in a real life example, to make it more clearer to you, imagine that a World War II soldier passed away. And as soon as the soul re-enters into a new body, as a little baby now, born in the 20th century, somewhere in America. Now, whenever that toddler, the infant, hears the sound of gunshots, there will be a panic response. There will be a trauma response, which the parents are also scared of, which the parents are also shocked of. Why is this happening? Whenever the child sees a gun, the child is acting weird. Okay, so these kind of behaviors are there in each and every one of us. You just have to look deeper within yourself and try to remember it all. Okay, become more self-aware, and that is what this channel is all about, to help you become more self-aware about your own self. And that is why the banner says not for everyone. Now here's another thing. We all think that we have a free will, or is there just a destiny? Right? We think like everything is happening that is already pre-written, especially if you are an astrology believer, then we are like, okay, the birth chart is already written, I'm just gonna do all those actions and I'm not gonna get away from that. What if I say that moon cannot change your destiny, but moon can change how you react to your destiny, and trust me, it can make a huge difference. Okay, so in a real life example, imagine a not so rich person is working 9 hours a day and is coming home from the shift. Very sad. Okay, very ungrateful for the car that he has. And the children he has is also kind of very sad. Now he's living a modern day-to-day life as a low-income man. And then one day it clicks to him that you know what, I have 2 beautiful children and I'm gonna be so happy now. Starting from now, no matter my income, I'm gonna start being happy. So from the next day onwards, he starts to become this happy person who doesn't care about his salary anymore, who just accepts it. And the same salary didn't change a lot, okay? But he feels happy now. He feels at peace now. He can go to sleep peacefully at night now. He's not worried now. So it's the same destiny, but your mind can change your perception about reality. Okay, and if you are into manifestation, if you are into parallel realities, if you are into quantum jumping and stuff, then you know that your frequency is what affects quantum jumping, that your frequency is what manifests things. Okay, so little by little, that person that was sad was happy, right? And that frequency, that good energy frequency, made him get a promotion in his job. Okay, so that is how beautiful it is to balance your moon placement. That is how beautiful it is to understand and to combine spirituality, astrology, science, all the occult knowledges in this world, which are only meant for a limited type of people, for a limited number of people. So according to manifestation, according to quantum jumping, the frequency you are in will attract things to your reality. So imagine you are in a lower frequency, such as fear, okay, such as survival, then all those things will only come into you. All those reactions from nature is what will come to you. Maybe accident in the road, maybe something that will make you scared even more, maybe something that will make you go more into the survival mode. But the more higher frequency you go, the more good things will start happening in your life, okay? The more happy you are, the more joyous you are, the more loving you are, the more higher the chakras you go up in your body, the more good things will start happening. So what changed? Did he change his destiny? Did he go from a time machine to change his destiny? No, he just improved his emotional state. He just improved his mind by doing conscious things, okay? So I hope I made you understand that the moment you change your mind, everything will change, okay? No matter you have a debilitated moon, okay? No matter you have an exalted moon, if it is not to your benefit, then what's the use of it, right? So even a debilitated moon, trust me, as an astrologer, I'm saying even a debilitated moon can be healed through conscious practices, and even a benefit moon can become malefic through your conscious actions. Because see, God has given us one thing which we can do for ourselves. That is our consciousness. We are conscious. God didn't just make us robots and He controlled everything. He programmed us to now you go and eat. No, He gave us a conscious mind to think for ourselves. Okay? And He's like, you know what? I will give you consciousness. Now let's see whether you heal your subconscious through this conscious mind. Okay, so see how beautiful it is. The moment you make conscious actions to change your subconscious, your moon will get healed. Your moon will start acting benefic for you. Okay, so there's a lot to talk about. I mean, I said only about 0.1% about moon here, but let's move on, okay? Or else you guys are not gonna watch the video, and the attention span of people these days is very low. I hope I made you understand a little bit more about what moon actually is and how important it is to remember ourselves, okay? How important it is to get in tune with our lunar cycle, how important it is to create conscious efforts to, heal our subconscious mind, how important it is to, I said a lot of things, right? So let's move on and let's understand what moon in each specific house means. If you have your moon in the first house, then I just know that you're such a caring, empathetic, nurturing person. You're just like a mother to everyone else, no matter the gender you are in. Okay? You will feel other people's emotions to the deepest level. If anyone is sad, you're the first one to notice it. Okay? If anyone is anxious, you're the first one that will notice it. Okay? So moon in the first house sometimes will give you a face which looks quite childish, quite innocent-like. Sometimes soft features will be present. Okay, sometimes maybe a chubby look, maybe something that is rounder, or even sometimes, for men especially, it can look very youthful. Okay, maybe even you're 70 years old, something will make others feel like you're just a kid, you're little, you're soft. That sort of energy will be radiating from you. Okay. Now moon is the planet which fluctuates every day. So your mood will also be something like that. For 1 second you are happy, the next second you are sad. Your energy, your mind, your emotion will fluctuate every single time, okay? In the morning you will be happy and in the night you will be sad. Then again 1 hour later you will be happy. That's the sort of nature is there in you. Okay. Another thing here is if you have moon in the first house, that means that you have a very strong attachment with your mother. Okay. And your childhood. Sometimes even your grandmother. You will kind of always remember your past as in your childhood a lot. Okay. And your mother, you will be very deeply attached to your mother as in. Sometimes for females, most of the time you will develop characteristics and your personality just like your mother. Like maybe you have relatives or friends saying that you are just like your mother. Okay. So just like that, your personality, sometimes even appearance might be just like your mother. That is a huge possibility here. Okay. Moon in the first house is also, as I said, so attached to their mother that sometimes their whole life purpose is given to them because of their mother. Mother is their reason for their whole purpose of life, okay? The career that they select is because of their mother. The wishes that they have in their mind is also because of some unfulfilled wish of their mother. Okay, maybe your mother likes a new car and that wish of hers was still unfulfilled and you have that in your mind now. You are like, I'm gonna buy my mother a car. Okay, so your desires, your wishes, your purposes, your purpose in life is very, very, very aligned with your mother's unfulfilled desires. That's a huge key point here. Another thing is, moon in the first house are people who will naturally be magnetic in a setting. They will be very noticeable in a crowd as well. And they are people who will feel the energy of the room instantly. And your intuition will be so high. Okay, you will be very empathetic, your intuition will be very high. So please always listen to your intuition no matter what. If you feel like something is gonna be wrong, then please believe that. That is true. You have a very high intuition and you need to realize that. Very well liked in social settings, okay? People love them. People love you guys because you are very emotional, you are very sensitive, you are very nurturing, you are very caring. So people are like, always friendly with you. And you also kind of have this chameleon-like ability to adapt to any place, to adapt to any person. And whatever the emotions that they are, emitting, you will be able to react to it. You will be able to listen to everyone in the room, no matter what. If a person has a problem in their life, you will be able to listen to that person with an open heart. You will be like, yes, what happened? Tell me your problem. That sort of very unique, empathetic nature is definitely there in you. Okay. Now, sometimes this can be used by others to their own advantage. They might use you as an energy vampire to gain out all your energy. And that is why I say, moon in the first house people, to please be careful of narcissists. Sometimes you guys are like the light to a very, very dark room. Okay. So that dark room will try to dim your light all the time as well and just keep you closed in that dark room at the same time. So, moon in the first house people will sometimes get attracted towards narcissists, or maybe you already have faced some of the narcissists in your life. That is also very possible. And sometimes moon in the first house people can become narcissists as well if your emotions are not regulated in a correct way, in a correct sense. Okay? So, see, one placement cannot tell the whole story of your chart. Okay, we are just talking about moon in the first house here. We are not talking about the sign that the moon is in. We are not talking about the aspects it's making. Okay, so we are just talking about the overall observations which are made if you have moon in your first house. So as I said, please be careful of energy vampires. Okay, I hope you know what that term is. If you have your moon in the second house, then you are the person that has a very deep attachment to your family. You are the person that has a very deep attachment to your values, your traditions. So you will naturally be a foodie. Your mind will be like, if the food is good, then you are happy. If the food is horrible, then you are sad. That sort of energy is here. Okay, so for my advice for people who have moon in the second house is, please stop emotional eating. Sometimes it can cause lots of issues. Okay. Maybe you can relate to this, but overall we have to see the other aspects as well. But I have seen a lot of times that if you have moon in your second house, then there is a possibility for you to binge it or for you to emotionally eat. As in, if you are happy, you eat. If you are sad, you eat. Sometimes you don't eat at all. So your food habits is directly because of your emotions. So the more controlled you are about this conscious action, the more you will be able to heal your subconscious mind as well. Okay? So never ever relate food with your emotions. That is one of the main advice I can give you here. Another thing is, you will feel so attached to your, properties, your wealth, your money. You will feel like financial security is everything. And as soon as there is no financial security, you will feel depressed and stressed. You will feel that, you need to earn so much money. You need to earn so much money. You need to save the money. Sometimes you're very attached to the number that you have in your bank account. Okay? Sometimes this can cause stinginess as well. Sometimes this can also cause overspending. You will go to shopping because of your own emotions. The day you are happy, you will be like, let's do some shopping. The day you are sad also, you will be like, I need something new. And as soon as I buy that new car, maybe that will make me feel happy. That sort of energy is there in your placement. Another thing here is your family is also very nurturing. Maybe they are very empathetic. They are very intuitive. Maybe they are very psychic as well, your family members, okay? And your speech, your voice will be so soothing, okay? It will feel like, like you have this voice that comes from your past life kind of thing, okay? You will be a great singer because your voice will have so much emotion, that is for sure. Whatever you're feeling in your mind, you will be able to say it through your mouth. Okay, so that is why moon in the second house are famous singers. There are some of the famous singers who have moon in the second house. Okay, now sometimes because moon is the planet that fluctuates every 2.5 days, then you can also see fluctuations in these things such as your food habits, okay, your relationship with your family. Okay, sometimes it might be very good, sometimes it might be very bad. That will be there. And even your money, your income, your financial status, that will also be up, down. Fluctuations will happen. So you have to know that this is because my moon is in the second house. As soon as my money drops, I'm not gonna get depressed. No. If it went down for you, it can come up as just like that. If you have moon in the second. Moon in the second house is kind of one of the best placements for moon to be in. Okay? If this is very beneficial for you, then you will get the financial status, the properties, the best family, the best speech, the voice, the values, traditions, everything. Okay? Everything is set for you. And for you to accumulate wealth, I would say that you must focus more on moon-related sectors, okay? Maybe, we have to see the rest of the chart as well, but if you are planning to do some business and stuff, moon-related businesses will be more beneficial for you when it comes to finances and stuff, okay? If you have your moon in the third house, then you are the person that is very, very deeply attached to your siblings. You are the person that is deeply attached to your neighbors. During the ancient times, neighbors were not limited to, the next house. Neighbors are the people who always comes and visit your house. Always. Okay? And see, that is why I say, don't confuse it with neighbors who are in your next door apartment. No. Neighbors as in the people who are inside of your home rather than your immediate family. Okay? So imagine there is another person that has come to stay over at your house. A cousin of yours. You will treat that person very good. You will treat that person like a mother in a nurturing, caring, emotional way. Okay? And your siblings might also be, maybe they are caring, nurturing, empathetic, spiritual, all those moon qualities might be present in their siblings, or maybe you possess them. And you act like a motherly figure to your siblings. Based on the rest of the chart, we can say that very accurately, but here, this is another key point. See, third house is everything about your mind. So So your mind will always be thinking. Even in sleep, you will be thinking. Okay, so your mind is always focused on what should I do next? What should I do next? What should I do next? Or what am I doing now? What am I doing now? What should I do now? Okay, so your mind will be like that, always on the next step, always focusing on this conscious environment, this what is now. So your mind is always trying a new way to be stimulated intellectually. Your mind needs to be engaged all the time. Without that, you won't be happy. Without that, you won't feel, relaxed. So maybe you're the person who always wants to listen to a song while doing another act, because your mind needs to be engaged all the time. And if it is engaged only, you will feel happy. And if for one day you take a leave and you're bored, you will feel so depressed that day, thinking that you didn't do anything because your mind was not at all engaged. Okay, whenever your mind is in huge pressure, is under huge pressure, your moon will feel so happy. Your mind will feel so happy and relaxed. And at the end of the day, you will feel satisfied that I did so many things. But if there is at least one single day in the week which you have to take a rest of, you will feel so bored and depressed thinking that you didn't do anything. That is how you are. So moon in the third house are people who always think of their work, who always want to do the next thing, who are always thinking in their mind. Okay, they might be present with you right now, but they are somewhere else in their mind. Moon in the third house are people who doesn't want to, hide anything that they feel in their mind. Everything that they feel in their mind will be reflected through their actions and through their speech and through their communication. If they are feeling angry, they will act like that. If they are feeling sad, they will act like that. Okay, that is how. If they're feeling sad, maybe they will cry it out. If they want to punch a person, they will do that. They are not at all scared. Okay, they won't hide it. So whatever that is going on in their mind, you will be able to see directly through their actions, through their speech and communication style. So you are the person who will also be very possessive of your mother and protective of your mother. You might even, go and punch another person just because they said something bad about your mother. That is how courageous you are when it comes to your, mother. Okay, and also sometimes even siblings. You will display those characteristics, and even sometimes neighbors. You are the type of neighbor that will, distribute cookies to every other neighbor. That is very possible here. You are the very deep, empathetic, psychic, nurturing. All those moon qualities will be there. So if you are a person in a community, the rest of the people of that neighborhood will feel like you are such a nurturing, caring, empathetic, maybe psychic, maybe sensitive, maybe emotional. That sort of a person is you. Okay? Moon in the third house means that you're always focused on courage. It's always focused on your mind. Okay? So this means that there can be so many mental conditions such as ADHD, maybe OCD, and also sometimes phobias, traumas, and your mind will always be restless. You need to give it a break sometimes. Okay? Being restless can equal to indecisiveness. Okay, you might not be able to decide what should I choose, because moon is always fluctuating and the decision making house is now fluctuating all the time. So you will be so, restless when it comes to making a decision. You will not be able to make any decision confidently or consciously. Okay, all the time your decisions will be changing and shifting, and that is very troublesome at points. So you have to take care of it. You have to balance your moon in this aspect. You have your moon in the fourth house. Your mother might be someone who is very empathetic, nurturing, caring, psychic, maybe even spiritual person. Okay, that is very possible here. And you will have this need for always being at peace, always resting, always, inner peace. You need inner peace than the rest. You crave that. You are protective over that. Okay. So maybe you are very protective over your home. You don't let anybody else come into your home. Or maybe your home is a place where people feel at home naturally. Okay. Your home is so light, warm that people just love to come into your home. That is very possible. And see, the key point here is you are the person that makes it feel like a home, not your interior designing or not because the location of the home. No, you are the person that will make other people feel like they are coming into a home. Okay, now another thing here is maybe you have a different room for yourself in your own home where you spend your alone time. Okay, that is also very possible. Moon in the 4th house means that you will definitely be very, very attached to your mother or your country or your traditions and cultures. Now this can be either good or bad, okay, depending on the rest of the chart, we can say that. And moon in the 4th house is very good placement for you to achieve success in life, okay, because it is directly aspecting the 10th house. That means you're always thinking about career success and climbing that ladder as well. The thing here is maybe your home is near to a water body, or maybe a lake, maybe a beach. That is also very possible. And your home might also fluctuate a lot. Okay, maybe you changed your houses a lot of times. That is also very possible. Or sometimes even the health of your mother might also fluctuate a lot. Okay, sometimes maybe your mother's emotions might also be like that. Maybe she's moody. That is also very possible. One second she is happy, the next second she is not. That is also very possible here. And you will be someone who loves your vehicles, okay, who will be emotionally attached to your home and your vehicles. There is a high probability that you will purchase white color vehicles a lot. Or maybe the interior designing of your house is done using silver, white. That is also a huge possibility here. In the 5th house, then you are the person who is very romantic, who is very creative, who has a little inner child inside of you. And the more in tune you are with your inner child, the more happy you will feel in life. Okay, you are the person that has this natural talent, because 5th house is also our past lives. So there is definitely a creative talent that has come to you naturally. And you will be definitely learning that through your own self, not because someone else taught it. You won't go to a university, you won't go to a teacher and learn that. No, it will be a self-taught knowledge, intelligence. Okay, and the more you do that, you will feel more happy. Now the key point here is you need to identify what that is. For some people that is, creating a new invention. For some people that is cooking. For some people that is singing. For some people that is playing the piano. Something which you have brought from your past life is definitely there. And the more you do that, the more happy you are. Now moon in the 5th house also says that you didn't quite express yourself in the past life. Okay, now depending on the rest of the aspect, we can see what specifically you didn't express in your life. Okay, but moon in the 5th house says that maybe you didn't express much of emotions in your past life. Okay, sometimes maybe even you were unable to become a mother in a past life. That is also very possible here. I mean, we have to see the rest of the chart, but I have seen it in some charts as well. That moon in the 5th house is that you crave romance, you crave children. Okay, you crave creativity, you crave joy. Okay, so all of this comes from our past life, right? So, see, another thing here is, because 5th house is also your first child, and maybe your first child will become a girl, or maybe you already have a girl. And because 5th house is also your romantic affairs, you will see that whoever the partner that you are associating with is very moody. They also change a lot, just like the moon, okay? One second they are happy, the next second they are sad, the next second they are angry. The next second they are jealous. Those sorts of characteristics will be present in your romantic partner. Now another thing here is you will be deeply attached and crave emotional validation all the time through your romantic affairs, through your children, and through your creations. Creations as in, let's say that you are a business owner and you create, let's say, a restaurant. And in that restaurant, you want everyone to love your food. Okay, if a person doesn't love your food, you will get so angry. You will get so sad. You will feel criticism to its heart when it comes to your own creation, even when it comes to your children. Okay, if one person is criticizing your children, you will feel it to your heart. You don't want that. You might even get aggressive at that point. Okay, so you want that craving, that admiration, that love when it comes to you, that emotional support when it comes from your romantic affairs and your children. And one thing I have seen here is maybe your first child acts like a mother to you, or maybe your first child has similar qualities of your own mother. That is also very possible here. Or maybe all of your children will be very empathetic, nurturing, spiritual, okay, psychic even sometimes. Maybe they are also moody. That is also very possible here. You have your moon in the 6th house, then you are the person that loves to stay in discipline. You are the person that loves to do your routine work. But no matter what, all the time your routine gets disrupted. All the time your routine gets fluctuated. No matter what you do. Okay? You are the person that is so attached to your pet. You are the person that is very nurturing and caring when it comes to your own pet. Okay, even to the street dogs, maybe even to the rest of the animals, you will love them a lot. And you're the person that is always thinking about what is my enemy gonna do next? What is my enemy thinking now? What is my enemy gonna plan next? That is very possible. You're the person that will intuitively see dreams of the future, which are planned by your enemies, okay? Imagine like 6th house is the house of enemies, so definitely you're going to have enemies, okay? But you will feel that in your dreams. You will see that in your dreams. The plans of your enemies, there's a high probability that you will see the plans of your enemies in your dreams. And you will already know, so they're planning that I'm going to do this next. Okay, that is a huge possibility here. Now, moon in the 6th house is not so good for your health, I would say. You might face lots of digestive issues. Issues related to your stomach is also very possible. And sometimes I have seen in men, lots of reproductive issues are also possible if you have your moon in the 6th house. Now, overall, moon in the 6th house means that your mind is unable to sleep no matter what. Okay, it is always thinking about the next problem. It is always thinking about obstacles, enemies, delays. Okay, try to make conscious efforts to balance that. I'm not saying to, erase it. No, I'm saying you to balance it out. Okay, moon in the 6th house are also people who are always, very nurturing, empathetic and emotional when it comes to their workplace. You might want to at least have a look at your workplace every single day. Then only you will feel happy. You're always worried about what's going in the workplace. Should I go to the work or not? And you are the person that will not miss a single day. Okay. You are the person that even if it's a holiday, you will at least do the work. Or you will come the exact next day. And mostly, you are also very intuitive about your enemies. So whenever you feel like while meeting a new person that this person is not so good, always trust that. Always trust that. Because I have seen that moon in the 6th house are people who are, they feel that this is the enemy, but they are not getting away from that enemy. They are always associating with that enemy. Because you have this tendency to always nurture your enemy as well. To be like a motherly figure to your enemy as well. That is also very possible here. Okay, you're always treating your enemy. Okay, maybe inviting your enemy for tea, maybe inviting your enemy on a trip. That is also very possible. Knowing that it is your enemy, you want to keep it as a friend. Moon in the 6th house also says, I'm sorry if I'm saying this, but 6th house is the house of bondages. Okay, moon is your mother. So maybe your mother feels like a bondage to you. I mean, we have to see the rest of the aspects as well, rest of the chart as well. But most of the time I have seen this a lot that for some reason the native will feel like the mother is a burden. That the mother is bondage, that the mother is not letting that person fly, or that the mother is the one who is holding that person down. That is very possible. And in some worst case scenarios, the mother is like a narcissist. The mother will be so controlling. That is also very possible here. Okay, so let me know whether this is true or not in the comments as well. If you have your moon in the 7th house, then you are the person who is deeply attached to your partner. You are the person that craves a partner who is emotional, sensitive, psychic, maybe, someone who is spiritual as well, who is feminine as well as a partner. Okay. Moon in the 7th house can also, now every astrologer says that if you have moon in the 7th house, that means your desire is for a partnership, for a relationship. That is Yes, very possible. But we shouldn't forget that moon is the planet that fluctuates every 2.5 days. So maybe your idea about marriage or partnership also fluctuates every 2.5 days. Okay. One day you are like, I want to get married. The next day you are like, no, I'm fine single. The next day you are like, I need to find a partner. The next day you are like, okay, I don't want a partner. Partners are so horrible. The next day you are again like, I'm so lonely, I need a partner. Those sort of fluctuations are also possible for some people if you have your moon in the 7th house. But overall, moon in the 7th house can also bless a native with such an empathetic, nurturing, caring partner. But we shouldn't forget that fluctuations happen. So maybe your partner is moody. Okay? And if this is very malefic for you, okay, then sometimes even cheating can happen in relationships. I don't want to sugarcoat anything here, okay? Because cheating can happen here through the partner. Okay, so maybe you crave a partner just like your mother. That is also very possible here. And moon in the 7th house means that you are naturally liked by the world. Okay, 7th house is the world. 7th house is how you interact with the world. So people will feel like you're a mother, you're nurturing, you're caring, you're empathetic. People will feel that a lot. And you will naturally have this aura of, being sensitive, being empathetic. You will have these chameleon-like abilities to blend into any situation. That is also very possible. And whenever you are doing a business partnership, you will feel like, your business partner is also emotionally attached to you. That is also very possible. Or your romantic partner, your marriage life partner might also be, emotionally attached to you. That is also very possible. And moon in the 7th house also means that maybe you are attached to your business. Okay, because 7th house is also the house of business. So you are emotionally attached to your business. If the business is fine, you're fine. If the partner is fine, you're fine. Okay, if your wife or husband is happy, then you're also happy. You're those type of people. Now, another thing here is 7th house is your second child. Okay, maybe there is some deep connection with your second born child. Maybe you will feel emotionally connected to that child, or maybe that child will act as a motherly figure. Maybe that child will have the qualities of moon, like maybe sensitivity, maybe psychic abilities. That is also very possible here. But overall, there is a high chance for you to be emotionally attached to your second born child. You have your moon in the 8th house, then you are the person that has gone through a lot in your childhood. Okay, maybe you have so many fears, maybe you have so many traumas, maybe you have so many phobias. That is how moon in the 8th house works. Okay, usually moon in the 8th house is not considered good at all. 8th house is everything about darkness, and a soft, emotional, sensitive planet like moon has gone into your darkest place. Okay, your conscious mind is itself becoming like very dark now. Okay, so moon in the 8th house people will feel so many fears, trust issues. Maybe they must have faced so many betrayals in their childhood or in their life, or maybe they have to face so many power struggles. But overall, this is a very deep and intense placement. Your personality will be so secretive and private. No one will be able to tell what you are feeling. Okay, if you are feeling happy, no one will be able to say that. That sort of a deep private personality is there in you. And 8th house means that maybe your mother's life was also like that, a very transformational life. Your mother's life, okay? Maybe a very hectic life. That is also very possible. Many ups and downs. That is also very possible. And if you're already married, then you will feel like your in-laws are also very moody people. Like 15 days they are fine, the next 15 days they are not. And you will also maybe have a very emotional connection towards them. That is also very possible. Or maybe your in-laws are people who, display characteristics of the moon, such as being sensitive, being emotional, being psychic, being spiritual. That is also very possible here. And see, moon in the 8th house, there are 8 billion people on this planet Earth, and not every person who has moon in the 8th house are people who have fears and phobias and is hiding behind a closed door. No, some of the moon in the 8th house people are people who are criminals. I'm sorry to say this, because they must have faced so many things that their now mind is so black, that their conscious mind is so, in deep with the trauma, the betrayals, everything. So their mind is very scary, to be honest. Okay, they will think stuff which is like very scary. That is for sure. Because most of them have faced a lot in their childhood. That is very possible. But a lot of people who is watching this video, I'm pretty sure then you have turned it to the correct side. Okay, because 8th house is also occult knowledge. 8th house is also the house of deep research. 8th house is also the house of, hidden stuff. So you're already watching an astrology video. So you have already, changed your mind into the good side. But not everyone who has 8th house moon watches astrology video is doing a deep research. No. So you have to know this. So whenever a person who has 8th house moon is coming to me for a reading, I know that this person is a bit scary. A little scary. 8th house moon people are very scary because their mind is itself not in a proper state. It's very restless. It's very, not in a proper state of mind at all. Lots of mental issues are very possible here. Okay. But overall, the remedy here is please get deep into a research. Whatever it is. If you want to listen to a gossip also, it's fine. But your mind always wants to find what is underneath, what is hidden. So astrology, archaeology, okay, deep sciences like scientists, data analysts, okay, banking, things which need lots of research and analyzing is best for you. And sometimes even areas which are surrounded by stressful situations like firefighters, police officers, they are also people who have moon in the 8th house sometimes. If you have your moon in the 9th house, one of the luckiest placement I would say, you're always focused on, what is next, the higher learning. You're always focused on learning more, gaining more wisdom, gaining more knowledge. That is what you're focused on. And you will feel very emotionally attached to your father. Okay, if your father is happy, you are happy. If your father is sad, you are sad. Maybe your father is a motherly character. That is also very possible. Maybe your father displays qualities of the moon. Maybe he is psychic, maybe he is sensitive, maybe he is emotional. Okay, the aspect of this is sometimes maybe your mother acts like your own father. That is also very possible. Maybe your mother also depicts, qualities of being religious. Maybe your mother is someone who has traveled a lot. Maybe your mother is someone who is very spiritual. Maybe your mother is someone who has done a lot of higher educations. Okay. So these stuff are there. But moon in the 9th house is overall a very lucky placement. Whichever astrological study you go to, every rishi said that moon in the 9th house is a very auspicious placement to be. Okay. So your mind will be very emotionally attached to your higher studies. So if a student is watching this, please don't focus on, quitting your higher education. Quitting your higher education might give you lots of stress and anxiety and also depression. It is where you find your happiness in. Okay. So please make sure to choose a subject which will give you emotional fulfillment, because your destiny is kind of aligned to that. Conscious mind always needs that. Okay. So, and sometimes I have seen that, there are people who have left their higher education midway, right? And these people are very stressed, depressed, even into their late ages, and again they start their higher education because that is what makes them get that happiness. Okay, so you are those type of people. You need to learn everything. You need to gain more wisdom, knowledge. Okay, and sometimes maybe your teachers will also fluctuate a lot. Maybe you can't stick to one teacher. That is also very possible. And maybe you will find a teacher that is like a motherly figure in your life. That is also very possible here. Okay, and maybe your thoughts about religion and belief system also changes every 2.5 days. That is also very possible. One day you're thinking like you're one religion, and the next day you will be like, I want to change my religion, I want to become this. That is also very possible. And sometimes this also shows that moon in the 9th house means that you are very deeply connected and attached to your religion and God. That is also very possible here. Okay, you are very emotionally attached to them. If you have your moon in the 10th house, then you are the person that is very attached to your work, that is very attached to your public name, social status. okay, your career image. So you are the person that want to stay in the office the whole day. You don't want to go home, okay? You don't care whether the home is fine or not. You want to finish all the work in the office. That is who you are. And you might have a family-like environment in your workplace. Imagine there is so many colleagues in your office. Every one of them will treat you like you are their own family. That is very possible. Maybe your boss is a female figure, that is also possible. Maybe your mother is your own boss, that is also very possible. Sometimes there are people who do the business owned by their own mother, right? That is also very possible here. And maybe you are very emotionally attached to your workplace, and there can also be so many fluctuations in your workplace or career as well. So see, career fluctuations mean that one year you are doing something else and the next year you are doing something completely different. But sometimes this can manifest as, you getting so many promotions again and again and again that your job, your role is changing again and again. It's fluctuating a lot. Okay, or maybe your seat is changing all of the time, or maybe you are traveling a lot. That is also very possible. Or maybe your job is something where you get something new every single day. Nothing is very stagnant in your career. That is very possible. Overall, this placement is kind of like a Raj Yoga, okay? But see, you will be someone who takes decisions emotionally and based off of your sensitivity, even when it comes to your career. And that is not so good when it comes to career life, right? So you have to balance this out. And moon in the 10th house means that you are a very well-liked person, okay? People will love you. People will love how nurturing, caring, sensitive, emotional you are. If this moon is very benefit for you, you are very attached to, climbing that social ladder. If the work is fine, you're fine. If the work is not fine, you're not fine. If you're getting the promotion, you're fine. If you're not getting the promotion, you're not fine. That is who you are. So one of the key points here is you have to maintain your domestic peace and your career life. You have to maintain the balance between your career life and your domestic life. That is very, very important here. Another thing here is maybe because moon is in the 10th house, you are involved in a career which involves water, dairy products, or, feminine figures, maybe related to females. That is also possible. But overall, if you have moon in the 10th house, advice is to do something which is related to the moon. Or maybe your office or your workplace is also, near to a water place, near to a water body, near to a beach, near to a lake, near to a waterfall. That is also very possible. Or maybe you have something in your desk that is of a water element, maybe a humidifier. Or maybe you have something that is like a painting in your wall that is also like a lake, that is like a waterfall. That is also very possible here. Okay, if you have your moon in the 11th house, then you are the person that has so many goals in your mind. You want to achieve so many things in your life. And here's the thing, just like the moon fluctuates every 2.5 days, your goals will also fluctuate every single day. One day you want to become a billionaire, the next day you just want a lone life somewhere. And then the next day you want to have a perfect family, and then the next day you want to become the successful CEO. The next day you want to help every human being, and the next day you just want to play some video games. Just like that, your mind, your goals, your desires will be fluctuating every single day. You are the person that can't stick to the same food every single day. You are the person that can't stick to the same idea every single day. Your mind needs to find something new every single time, something new to get attracted towards, something new to, hope for, a desire to hope towards, a goal to achieve towards. Okay, your mind needs that all the time. Now, 11th house is also our friends, our community, and so maybe your friends feel like you are like a motherly figure to them, or maybe your friends will be like a motherly figure to you. Maybe you are a very empathetic, nurturing, caring, psychic person among the friend group, or maybe your friends will display characteristics of the moon. Maybe you have also experienced fluctuations in your friendships, like maybe you have had so many friends, and every 1 year or two, maybe you will experience fluctuations in that cycle. Okay, even in a school life, you will feel like I had so many friends. I was friends with everyone. I was not very, I never was stuck to one friend. You had so many friends. That is also very possible. And you might have lots of feminine friends. That is also very possible here. And when it comes to your community, then you might get very famous among a community. That is very possible, because a community, a large group of people will feel connected to you emotionally, because you will feel like a mother, a nurturer, someone who is very deep, sensitive, that someone who is caring, someone who is very emotional, psychic to a group of people. That is for sure. Okay. And those people will be able to feel emotionally connect with you. That is here. Okay. So there are many politicians, sometimes there are actors who have moon in the 11th house, where there is like a community of people that are working towards them, that are supporting them. That is very possible if you have moon in the 11th house. Now, another thing here is, you might be such a big humanitarian. Maybe you are the person who is always thinking of helping another person soul. Incredible humanitarian powers, incredible humanitarian mindset comes from people who have moon in the 11th house. They are like a mother to the whole world. They want to, rise up with the whole world. They just don't want to go alone. Okay, they want to bring a team together and go on that journey. They want to help everyone. Okay, you want to help everyone. Maybe your friends, you are not the person that will just want to succeed alone. You want to succeed your friends as well. You want to help your friends succeed as well. You want to help your community succeed as well. Okay, if you have elder siblings, then maybe there was a huge part in your childhood that involved elder siblings. That is also very possible. Or maybe you are very deeply emotionally connected with your elder siblings. That is also very possible. Or maybe your elder siblings were like a motherly figure to you, or very empathetic, nurturing, caring. That is also very possible here. Overall, this means that your mind is always happy if there is a desire. But the problem here is, it's hard for you to manifest things into life, because your mind can't stick to one thing. Okay? One day you want to become the billionaire and you can't stick to that concept. You're always changing. So, that is a shadow side of having moon in the 11th house. If you have your moon in the 12th house, then you're the person that was never able to sleep properly. Okay, maybe you have such intense, vivid dreams, which is kind of scary at times as well. Sometimes emotional, sometimes deep, sometimes even psychic dreams are very possible for you. So if you're seeing something in your dreams, kind of give it a little bit of more attention. Okay. Maybe they show the future. That is also very possible here. If you have your moon in the 12th house, there is a high chance that you will see future events. So lots of premonitions can happen through your dream. Not just through dream, okay, just through the conscious mind. You will be just sitting and you will get like a premonition of like, oh, this is gonna happen. You are those type of people. You will have lots of psychic abilities, deep psychic abilities. Moon in the 12th house are also people who love to stay in isolation, and no one will know what is going on in your mind, okay? You will feel like, I'm a very private, I'm a person who loves to stay alone, nobody understands me. But you're the one who never shows out your emotions to the world, okay? You're the person who doesn't cry out if you're feeling angry or sad. You're the person that doesn't laugh out. That is very possible. My advice for you is, if you have moon in the 12th house, please stop being an introvert. That is gonna harm you a lot, okay? Start being an extrovert. Start sharing your emotions. That is gonna be a good thing here if you have moon in your 12th house. But overall, I have seen through so many charts that whoever has moon in the 12th house, they are very private people, that nobody will be able to identify what is going on in their mind. Okay, that sort of secretive nature, hidden nature is there in your emotions. And this placement is not considered that good when it comes to your mother. Okay, but overall, maybe your mother is someone who was foreign to your father. That is also very possible. Maybe she's from another culture, religion. That is also very possible. Or maybe your mother is distant from you, away from you. Maybe she's working in another state, another country. That is also possible. Okay, or maybe Your mother is someone who is very deeply spiritual, intuitive. That is also very possible. See, 12th house is not that sort of a good house, I would say. Okay. 12th house represents so many things. It represents spirituality, meditation. It also represents asylums, prisons. Okay. It represents addictions. It represents being lonely, alone. It also represents bed pleasures. Okay, so if a person has moon in the 12th house, there's so many aspects we need to consider, right? I'm just talking about the overall observation about having moon in the 12th house. We have to see the rest of the chart as well. But if moon is in the 12th house, one thing I can guarantee you is that there's definitely gonna be some addiction in your life, of which you have to be very careful of, especially men. Okay, that can literally destroy you. And sometimes this addiction can be of being alone. That can also ruin you. Okay, so you have to develop the good qualities. So if you are a person who has moon in the 12th house, what I would do is, if I had moon in the 12th house, I would, become spiritual. I would do meditation. I would, journal. I would do something, maybe going alone for a walk. But I wouldn't stay alone in my own home. I would talk with people, but for me time, I would just go alone for a walk. But some people who have moon in the 12th house, they are not like that. 24/7, they want to stay locked in their room. Nobody knows what they are doing inside their room. Okay? And good aspect of this is, maybe you love to travel. Maybe you love to go to different lands, foreign lands. That is also very possible here. Or maybe your mind is always connected to one single foreign land. That is also very possible here. Moon in the 12th house can also give you, as I said, sleep issues. Okay, either through dreams or maybe because of overall day-to-day conditions, like maybe you go to bed late, or maybe there are health issues. But overall, this can destroy sleep a lot. So you have to take the conscious action of getting your sleep better. That will heal your moon a lot. That will make your moon benefit for you a lot. Okay? If you have your moon in the 12th house, another thing here is, you have to be very careful of, paranoia. You might feel things like, you might imagine things, maybe you will feel things, but most of the time it is not even real. Okay, so for that you have to be very careful. So lots of mental issues can be given if you have moon in the 12th house. Sometimes even hallucination, real life like hallucinations can happen if you have moon in the 12th house. Okay, but because I'm a believer of, spirituality and stuff, I know that it is not all the time hallucinations, but I have seen cases where, hallucinations has resulted in so many stuff. So you have to take steps to, better your moon placement as much as possible. So sometimes you will see stuff from your naked eye, like, which is so hard to not believe. But sometimes it is so fake. Okay, hallucinations, paranoia, or, seeing different creatures crawling out and stuff. And sometimes even, feeling deja vu all the time. That is also very possible here.